I secretly made 200 mil with this forgotten dungeon, the Zamorakian Undercity, the only enraged stacking elite dungeon in the game of Runescape. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to do the exact same thing. My name is NATSUTHEBLAZING and welcome to the channel. I do endgame content here on Runescape 3 and I'm here to help you out with making some fat stacks. Let's cut the intro and get straight into the method. To begin, you're gonna need at least 50,000 dungeoneering tokens to get the lucky charm for the elite dungeon, as well as 86 archaeology to farm out the components needed to make the enchantment. To get through the dungeon, I recommend using high-end PvM gear, preferably with magic with Crit Plume, to get through the mobs because they use primarily magic and melee to damage you. If you use anything less, you are more likely to fail, and so I highly recommend investing in your gear before even trying to attempt this, because you will fail and you will die and you'll get frustrated, and that's not the goal of the video. Reason why you need 86 archaeology is because one of the items you require is called a necromantic focus, and you will need 3 of these to create the enchantment of affliction. What the enchantment of affliction does is grant a damage boosting effect to the Inquisitor's staff, one of the strongest staffs in the game for certain bosses, boosting it from a 12.5% damage increase to a 17.5%, an increase of 5% damage just for having this boost added to it. Here is your standard loadout. I prefer to use magic. I believe it has a very strong clear and it has a very good sustainability, meaning you can take a lot of damage, and what you're going to be dealing with is mostly going to be magic and melee damage. So Animate Dead does a great job. Darkness kind of gets you by. I haven't used the other combat styles in relation to range. I guess the only one I haven't tried is range, and I thought melee was undoable. You take way too much magic damage. Necromancy, you can sustain it. You still take a lot of damage. Darkness helps you negate some of it, but you have to pay a little bit more attention to a lot of the damage that you're taking, because of it comes in so many different waves, and because we are upping the enrage by 30%. The mobs are a little stronger than you would expect, but it is much more feasible than if you're trying to use range or melee here. But I do think that magic is king because of greater chain, omni power with the Zuck cape, and also being able to have great sustainability with Animate Dead and tank armor. So this is my basic loadout that I have here. It's pretty much your standard AoE or like Slayer loadout. Overloads, you can get rid of the aggression potion and then take poison because all the mobs in here are poisonable. Spring Cleaner does help. The drops do get dropped and they go into the elite dungeon chest. However, you can alch them automatically as they get dropped, so that helps get you some more coin injection, some prayer, and then of course food and your runes. The big 2 pieces here are definitely the lucky charm. This is the only thing that will get you the slivers. There is a super rare chance that you get slivers from the dungeon just by running it, but the lucky charm increases that chance unknowingly by a lot. And I have never run the dungeon without the lucky charms, so I cannot tell you if it is worth it. I do not recommend it because already the slivers are pretty rare in general, so I just recommend getting them just how they are. After that, the nether piece of resistance is definitely going to be the Hellhound. You are taking a lot of damage. I don't recommend using a DPS familiar because you're not going to notice it or really need it. The runs typically are between 2 minutes and 30 seconds and 3 minutes. Nothing really here to just kind of like blow anything out the water. This is not meant to be super sweaty. This is meant to be something you can do while watching TV, or you're just watching your buddy play on Discord or some shit. It doesn't have to be super intense, guys. Just make it as easy and accessible and doable for you, and adjust as needed. For the gear, I'm using T95s with the shard enhancement. Do not need a shard enhancement for these. You can use base tier 95s or basic tier 90. They do work fine. You don't have to use the super high-end shit. You can just use whatever works for you. Anything below T80 magic stuff, so Virtus, is going to be, you're going to be struggling. So I would actually use Dermic instead of the Virtus armor, because you are going to be wanting to use Animate Dead primarily throughout the entire dungeon. They're not going to be using Temporal Anomaly because you can try and fish for resets and stuff like that, but it's not really going to improve your time much faster. I experimented with it and saw very minimal results, maybe shaving off like 10-20 seconds at most. The ability bar is very, very simple here. It's going to be Greater Chain, Omnipower, Tsunami, Metamorphosis, Wild Magic, Asphyxiate, Corruption Blast, Combustion, Greater Concentrated Blast, Magma Tempest. If you don't have Magma Tempest, don't need it. Really great for the mob clear. Do not need it. Just move Dragon Breath up one more. tendrils and the Tusk's Wrath, and then the crystal at the end. Those last 3 slots aren't really going to be used, so you can set your ability bar to only proc the 9 slots and then leave those last 3 for whatever you may need it. Teleports, food, prayer, whatever you may need it for. But those main 9 slots up to the Dragon Breath are going to be the primary source of damage for you. The Greater Chain Omniport positions are very important, because when you enter the dungeon, I'll show you in a moment why those 2 combo together is a great way to get an early start and a great opener to get the mobs running through. So now this is the gear. This is what we're gonna be rocking with. You have 2 pieces of Crypt Bloom, and then I rock Tectonic as well, because the damage reduction that you get from 2 pieces of Crypt Bloom is enough. But if you are finding this is struggling, or if your damage is not meeting where you're clearing things fast enough and taking a little bit too much damage, full Crypt Bloom should work fine, or any other tank armor. Primeval is a really good cheap one, and those will work perfectly fine as well. Cinderbanes for the poison, because all the mobs here are poisonable. And then so there is a discussion that I tried. I talked to myself. There is kind of a small debate between using the T95s versus a fractured staff, or usually people have an alternative with a staff with roaming on it. I would recommend just rocking the T95s, because you're going to have higher base damage on all your abilities, and all your abilities are going to be proccing not just the bleeds, and then being able to spam your Corruption Blast on all of the mobs condensed together is going to be a great way to get the mob clear. It's going to do a lot better than having Greater Chain popping off every second, because this is a shorter cooldown because of the wand resetting the ability and still proccing all the mobs. So you're gonna have a better clear with Corruption Blast all in all. Outside of that, you can swap the ring out for a Ring of Death. The reason why, because the Ring of Death gives you a adrenaline on kill. Because you're killing so many mobs so quickly, you will be perfectly fine using a Ring of Death versus a Channeler's Ring if you do not have one. So that is all of the gear. The way you get Lucky Charms, you come to any of the retailers here that sell the dungeoneering shops. For the Elite Dungeon Workshop, you're going to go to Consumables. Right over here, Lucky Charms, Zamorakian City, you're going to go ahead and pick up whatever amount of Dungeoneering coins. So you are going to need some Dungeoneering tokens to get this started. I recommend 150k. You can do that farming out ED3 and killing the first few mini bosses, and then you can also farm tokens as you're going through this, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment by killing Cerberus along your route. So we're going to go ahead and pick these up. And so we now have 44 of these Lucky Charms. Throughout this whole time, I used a total of 31 charms, and we got a very decent amount of slivers. And also, the common loot that you get from here is pretty decent. On average, 1 mil per run, and you can do a run in, again, 2 minutes, 30 seconds to 3 minutes. We're going to go ahead and do a run for you guys right now and show you exactly what you need to do. We've arrived at the zamorakian Undercity, and we are getting ready to plunge right in. The way you can do this is get your Hellhound summoned, to make sure to use your weapon poison and pop your overloads, cast Animate Dead, double check your chest, make sure you don't have anything in here. There is stuff in here. Number one thing about this is if you have a full chest and you get a sliver drop, you will lose the slivers when you leave the dungeon. One time I got 5 slivers of pain, and I was looking for those. Those were my final pieces I needed for the upgrade. I teleported out of the dungeon, did not know my chest was full, and lost the slivers. So that is a huge thing. Make sure your chest is emptied and you are good to go. Every few runs, 3-4 runs, click bank all and you are good to go. Mind you, if you are doing any other elite dungeon, you are going to have to sacrifice that progress in that previous dungeon to do this run. So finish up whatever you got to and then begin this. Right now I'm at Nakatra for Sanctum of Rebirth. I'm just going to go ahead and discard the progress. We're going to go ahead and go into the enrage mode. Set your enrage to 30, custom enrage right here. You're gonna press 3, 0, enter, good to go. Now set your quick prayers on, whatever curses you got, soul split, protect item if you must. Now then, when you come into this opening spot, what you're gonna do is there is 2 things you got to be aware of. There is a healer right here, and then the spot you want to go to is you're gonna dive, you're gonna surge, dive. The reason why you want to stand in this corner is because if you are in far enough from these guys, if you're in this far right corner, the mage, the healer, cannot see. The healers are a big problem because they'll heal the mobs and just make it fast, make your run longer. So dive, surge, dive, sorry, and then get going. Greater Chain into Omnipower. Look how it wipes out these 3 nicely. You can just go ahead and cycle through. You don't really have to do any additional inputs because you have the Revolution running and you have Auto Retaliate on. You are good to go. Just kind of sit here. You can do this slowly, more low input, or you can make the runs faster by clicking through the mobs. You're gonna surge through here. The next portion is gonna be this barrier right here. You're gonna move through. You're gonna pull the guy from this room across, and then he'll walk by. I like to pick somebody in the center, that way Greater Chain can bounce around and slap people as you must. It is pretty easy, but you can tell I'm taking a good chunk of damage here, and you can use a penance powder if you'd wish. It will dent a little bit of your income coming through, but I think all in all you'll get whatever you're looking for. You'll make more money as you're going through this anyway, so that you're gonna have to bite some of the cost to get this running. Again, this isn't a early level, like early game type of moneymaker. This is something I just really enjoy to do, and because it's just one of those very niche things that people will collect, and it is very fun to see. There's another mender right there. Popper, she's right behind the bench, and then you're good to go. Autouchele is going off. Now, one of the cool things about this being an elite dungeon, if you have done the Blackstone quest and you have the automatic looter, you're going to be able to have everything go straight to your bank. If you don't have the quest completed where you have all of the loot in elite dungeons going into the chest, you're going to be picking up a lot of loot. So just keep an eye out for any of the slivers that may be dropping on the floor. And also you have a chance of your drops magically doubling, which is very, very cool. I actually got super lucky and I got a sliver of pain doubled. So instead of getting 5, I got 10. Oh my god, it doubled. Holy shit. Oh my god, it doubled. Oh my god. Which is huge because that cuts down the time that you need to get them like immensely. It is very good. Now there is this greater demon here, and you can honestly teleport route right here. He is not worth killing because he has a debuff on him, and you have, no matter what, I have the highest best in slot perks, armor, overloads, everything, and I only have 70% hit chance. It is not worth it. 70% damage is not worth it. So let's teleport out and you're good to go. That was about 3 minutes in total to get the full run. And then just wash and repeat, and then you'll probably pick up some beautiful slivers as you go through. So when you want to go back in, press 2, 3, 5. What that does is it automatically puts you in, and you can just kind of autopilot your way in. Now we're going to show you if you want to do a Cerberus Farm. What you're going to do is you're going to clear out this first portion as well. And then you're going to run directly east. As you run east, you're going to run to this little alleyway, and you're going to meet the big old dog. If you're using something that is not rain, you're going to use something that runs at it. See, here we go. 5 slivers of pain. These slivers of pain, as you level them up, as you get them unlocked, you will begin to get more and more. And because of the cost of the enchantments and such, each sliver of pain, if you're making an enchantment of affliction, which is 200 mil or around 199 to 205, each sliver is worth around 13 mil. So times 5, that is a 65 million drop right here. If you need to farm out dungeoneering tokens as you're going through this run and doing this farm, you can do so right here with Cerberus. Just stand outside the room, good to go, and then just DPS them down. Pretty simple from there. And then there you go. You can make your way throughout the dungeon. Adds maybe another like 45 seconds to maybe a minute depending on your gear and DPS, but you're good to go from there and continue through the room. We have sold our very first of the enchantments, and this one is the Enchantment of Affliction for 199 mil. We had it sit for exactly about a day, and we lowered the price by 4 mil, but they will sell. These items go away as soon as they're used, and that is an easy 195 mil injected. So if that is 15 slivers per one, that is 13 mil per sliver. So if you get a 5 slivers from one lucky charm, that is 65 mil right there. And this is one of my favorite money makers because it is one of those things that just kind of happens, and it's out of the way. It's a little out of the way. Not a lot of people will do it, and also it has a huge payoff if you're willing to go through it. That is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to subscribe, leave a like, let me know in the comments if I ruined your favorite money maker, and bye.